beautiful friends. Welcome to the Spirit Essence Show. I'm Tara Diana, the host of our show, where we bring together the wisdom and insights of our two featured metaphysical spiritual practitioners for a thought-provoking, heart-centered conversation on a topic that they have no idea what it's going to be about. And that, for me, is the most exciting part of this whole thing, to see where this is going to go. So, I want to welcome Joanne Moore and Tien. I always say his name is so long to me. Tien Neo Imas. I'm just going to call him the wizard. It's so much easier for me, babies, to just go there. But welcome, my friends. Welcome to our space. Tien, why don't you introduce yourself first, and then we will go to Joe.
Hey, yes, Tien the Wizard's much easier, Eldo, and it is Tien Neo Imas. Hello, my lovely ladies.
Hello.
So I'm a wizard located in Vancouver, BC, and on Sailortooth, Squamish, and Muskrim land. I've been wizarding for all my life, not really knowing that's who I am, as you know, most of us spiritually connected people are aware. At some point, we wake up and we listen to the call. And we start living and guiding and teaching guided by spirit. So that, I would say, happened to me maybe 15 years ago or so. And here I am. I love to hang out. And my motto in life, like Tara Diana says about the show now, is about joy, is about fun. You know, if it's not fun, see ya, bye.
Right?
Exactly.
Right? Like, no. Immediately no, if it's not
No
fun.
more. Bye-bye.
Do you want to hear something super cute? I literally went to do the weekend warm-up. I do my weekend warm-ups, you know, whenever I'm inspired to do them, and I send them out to the community. And so I walked into Starbucks, and I was like, barista, her name is Ren, she's lovely, lovely. I said, what is one positive word? And she's like, happy?
Yeah.
The way she said it was like she was scared of me.
Yeah, right. You say, oh, that weird lady. Come in, ask me questions.
Right? So she says, happy? And I said,
Yeah.
happy it is. And
Yeah.
I came back to the car and I said, okay, Spirit, why? Why? And they gave this great message. Anyway, so yeah, if it's not good, if it's not joyful, if it's not bringing my heart something, then I'm not in. It's an immediate no. So Tien, welcome to our space. I cannot wait to see the conversation. Joanne Moore, she's part of the Spirit Essence Collective. Hello, pretty lady. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing very well. Thank you. I am Joe, and I live on the Sunshine Coast of BC. And I know, and it's sunny today too. And my go-to for intuition is the angels. So they are the first thing that showed up when I woke up about 16 years ago and started realizing what was going on. And they have been with me ever since. And through wonderful mentorship with Tara Diana, I now channel the angels. So I have a collective that I channel. And I love reconnecting people to their own angels. So guiding you to get back in touch with your team so that you can get answers and use them for everyday living. And yes, reminding us what is joyful, doing the happy things, and being there for the times that are not so much.
Fair enough. Do you guys remember Ren and Stimpy, Joe? Tien?
I never watched it. No, I know what it was, but
So let me just say this, I never watched it either, but I know who Ren and Stimpy are. And I always remember, the only thing I remember about Ren and Stimpy is every time someone says joy, I always think happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. I think that should be everyone's motto, like for real, everyone's motto. Okay, so I am excited because, hey, don't you two know each other? Like, didn't I meet Joanne through Tien?
Probably.
yeah, we met. Yeah, we met through a mutual friend, and then yes, and Tien introduced me to you.
Yeah. I say you gotta go and do this Tara's show. It's coming out. Come and do some readings for this lady. It's good.
Yeah, it was at a psychic fair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tien has been a close family friend and just inspired my kids. And yeah,
Because he's like that.
yeah. He was really a wonderful influence for my son.
Aw, yay.
And
So-
shares a birthday with my daughter. So
I know, right? That's Gemini Cancers.
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
we're tight. We may not see each other much, but so
No.
much love and adoration for Joe. And of course, the family who was really supportive of me during a big life transition at, about what, maybe 6 years ago, 8 years ago, like that. So thank you.
I think I've known you, Tien. I mean, we don't need to get into all this. We need to get into our conversation. But I
Yeah,
think I've known you for like almost as long as you've been, like you said, 15 years was kind of your thing. I think I've known you like maybe a few
shortly
years
after
less
that.
than that,
Yeah,
but not long after that. So this
yeah.
is cool to watch all the changes and all the things that all of us go through
I know,
in this
right?
kind of, right?
So fun.
Okay. Are you
Good.
ready? Okay. Let's go. Here it is. I spend lots of time sitting with this, and usually I'm hysterical laughing because I know what some of you are going to say.
It's
Okay,
all good.
so do you believe? Do you believe in coincidence? But stay with me, babies. Stay with me. There are no coincidences whatsoever. Everything is happening by design.
Yeah.
So let me say it one more time. Let me say it one more time. Coincidence. There are no coincidences whatsoever. Everything is happening by design.
Coincidences for me absolutely is more like synchronicity. That's how I see it. And it is simply much something will show up at the same time, and this happens to me all the time. I can be creating something, writing something. For example, I'm working on my book right now, writing something, and then I'll listen to some silly sitcom on my laptop as well, and I'd be writing the word light, and then suddenly somebody or some music will say light all at the same time, and it happens every time. This started happening, I'd say about 2007, where apart from the numbers showing up together, I'd be driving by, I'd be singing, listening to a song on the radio. It says something like shining, bright shining light. And then I drive by a corner and the name of that house is called Bright Shining Light. I go, come on. All right. So yeah, coincidences are such magical reminders. And then of course in occurrences in life, when things happen at what you call the exact right time, at the synchronistic time, it isn't a coincidence because you're just attracting it. It's your frequency that attracts what goes on around you, and that has you always be reminded we are source, we are godlike, we are the sun, and whatever frequency and energy I'm putting out is entirely coming back as well. So that is the other side of coincidences as well.
I want to say something super quick. I am not a huge fan of the numbers and all that stuff. I know people love that stuff. And I know angelically there's a whole thing associated with that. And I do love that. But I don't because I'm so easy peasy with spirit, because spirit and we just jive so well. I just take things as they come to me. So I don't sit in a place where I'm constantly like, oh, this is happening, it's gonna be, and one of the things that I talk about a lot on TikTok is Ryan's journey. So my son's journey, and how he's on the other side now, and how I don't need messages from him. I don't need to come through and have a conversation, but he gives me signs. And signs when I need them, though, not signs, because I'm just sitting there having dinner and all of a sudden he throws me a chicken nugget or something. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking more like I was thinking about not putting up his stocking again this year. That none of the stockings, not his, but and all of a sudden I go downstairs to get a Christmas thing for the church, which is a spiritualist church, and I go down there. I need to say that because you all know why. And I go down there, and all of a sudden, his stocking is sitting on my dryer.
Yes. Yep.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
the numbers and stuff for me, I think that is very individual, and whatever that flows with you and whatever that brings to you, right? Now, Joe, what do you think? Are we, baby? Are we sitting in that coincidence, or are we just not?
So for me, coincidence is when you're not aware of the energy or frequency you're putting out. When you're aware of it, like Tian said, it becomes synchronicity. So the coincidences are when we're not aware of the connection But when we are, and we're kind of like waking up or being consciously choosing, then we notice that it's now a synchronicity. Does that make sense? So that, because for me, so often it's about the bringing together of our human thinking and our brain and
Mm-hmm.
our spiritual awareness. And that is the perfect blending of synchronicity, is when we're aware of what's going on, and then we notice it and we can take action, or inspired action, or be inspired by it, or have the aha or the confirmation that we're looking for. So it's like
Okay.
that combination. It only it you I used to think of coincidences until I was aware of my frequency. And then I'm
Okay.
like, "Oh, wait a minute. This is not a coincidence. This is on purpose. This is, you can see the signposts all of a sudden."
So I feel like we are saying that there are no coincidences. It
Yeah,
just
no.
is what it is. Now, that brings me to a really, really strong point. I am a big believer. So, empowerment medium means that I trust my process. Okay? So, I connect to spirit and I don't doubt spirit. Spirit doesn't fluff me, right? It is literally comes down the line. I take it, I give it. If it resonates with someone, fabulous. If it doesn't, I'm okay with that. You will find it. It's now, been given to you. You'll know what to do with it when you're meant to do with it. So let's talk about free will choice and personal responsibility. I'm reading what it says here again in this particular do you believe kind of question. It says, everything is happening by design. I don't love that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that there is someone up there saying this is how you're going to do it. And I'm doing a whole thing in Akashic Records right now. And I'm like, baby, just because you see this doesn't mean it's going to happen. Because I believe in free will choice and personal responsibility, right? We can't just say that source, creator, God, goddess, Buddha, Krishna, who's ever up there doing the do, is down here going, okay, Tiana, we know you're going to go and have, a glass of water over there. Let's hope you don't slip and fall. Oh, do you see what I'm saying? I don't believe in that. I just don't, because spirit has never shown me that. They have never shown me that in all the work I've done. And remember, I've been doing this work a long time. I think I'm hitting like 24 years or something. I'm feeling it. So what are your thoughts, you guys?
Great question. Thank you. I've been gotten a lot clearer. I've been clear for quite a while now, but in the past year, I've been doing a lot more, really harnessing my channeling skills and gifts. And so when asking my guides recently, there's been such a clarity about their the guides are energetic fields. Yes, they're doing their thing. They're just around, and pretty much it's kind of like they're hovering around all the time, hovering around, and there's no interception until we set forth intention, clarity, frequency, asking, desiring, upset, whatever. We feel it, then to them it's a clear indication of, oh, there's something here that we want to support in. So in a conversation with them like a few months ago, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So you need to be told how to support me. And I was like, oh, I understand the most problem with humans, and for myself when I was in a very righteous, angry stage for a couple decades, all I was telling them is, I'm so pissed off, I hate my life, why is this happening, la la la, all the silly things that we do. And so they were reacting to that, and so they would come, they would shift reality or alter frequencies because of what I was asking and what I was saying. There was no clarity and true alignment in my asking. So now they said, we don't know what it's like in a human body. So we need you to tell us. Because they shift a bunch of things and they go, no, I can't be sick for a whole month. No. You might think it's fun to upgrade my frequency body and my cellular structure because that's what's going on and what I'm up to next. I have to upgrade. Great. But we can't be doing this for a whole month. I gotta work. I'm by myself. Really. I got real life to happen. And they were like, okay, well, then it got clear. I need to be clear with them. I said, okay, no, this is what has to happen if we're gonna upgrade, if we're gonna align. This is what has to happen so that I can continue succeeding, working well, listening to Bible, all of that stuff. These are the ground lines. And they went, oh, okay, thank you for letting us know, because we don't know. So you get clear. You tell me what we know. And they did this whole thing with my body where I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. And then one day, they started shooting pains through my body. And I just said, enough. I just yelled. I literally yelled. I said, enough. No more. I can't do this. It's fun for you, sure. No. And then literally it stopped. And that was it. We were done. No more. So
can I just interrupt you, because I'm like vibrating like me, I'm like all over. So first of all, I want to say I am celebrating that absolute moment where you were like, you took control.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe, and if you guys follow me, you guys know this, audience, I am the person who says you are in control. Spirit does not control us.
Exactly.
So we have to lay it out.
Yeah.
If I need help from Spirit, I'm like, hey, booze, I need a little something, something, come and see me. But they're not sitting here, pouring stuff down at us and being like, nah, I think he needs a vibration fix, so I'm going to do... It's not like that. So, and it's your personal responsibility to look after yourself, because it's a body, mind, spirit ordeal all day, every day.
Yeah.
So I love that. Totally celebrating you on that and taking that personal responsibility. But better yet, free will choice. I can choose if I want to sit here. If I need to have shooting pains in my legs to really understand that I'm having a vibrational shift, oh, sweet geez, I'm giving you love, baby. You don't need that. But if I need that, if I need to have that moment, then I'm going to have that moment, and I'm going to take that free will choice. But if I don't need it, and Boo Boo, just like you did, you were like, I don't know what you're thinking here. I got things to do, my friend. Let's move on. Let's just raise that vibration and move on. That's taking that free will choice. Joe, what's your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, for me, it's the same thing. It's like I always say it's kind of like setting the GPS in your car. You need to give them direction. You choose the end result, or you choose where you're headed. They will help guide you. And when you turn left instead of right, they will loop you around just like your car does and get you back on track, as long as you're paying attention to the coincidences and the synchronicities. But you get to choose. Now, and what I've had when I've asked the question about free will, because that's something I get asked about quite a bit, is that before we come, we have a loose agreement. It's like, you know what? I want to come and experience this kind of things that I didn't experience before as a human. So I'd love to experience, like this or that. But when we get here, we forget that. So in the process of our remembering and the journey of remembering, we get to choose what goes on. Now, our guides and our angels have that kind of loose blueprint we set before, but they're not going to force us to do it, because we have, as a human and them, free will. Now, and I've often been asked, how do you know when it's free will, or how do you know when it's like done on purpose, or you know what I mean, like being used in intention? And for me, it comes down to what is going to serve you the best, because it's always your perspective. So how it's not whether it was a free will, or whether, free will gone amok, or this person is doing this role because it's going to help the planet. It doesn't matter what it is in reality. It's how you perceive it that's going to most empower you that matters.
I love that. And let's talk for just a second, you guys, about the whole idea that we come back here with purpose, right? We come back here and there's a reason we come back. I don't know if I need to come back anymore, because this one life has got a lot going on for me. So I could maybe just go and have a snooze and stay up there and tell someone else what to do down here as a spirit guide. And I would be good at that. Let me say that. I would be good at being like, hello, look over here, buddy, over here. But I want to say this. With free will choice, we are spirit having a human experience. That I should have that tattooed on my forehead. But that is truth. And the thing about that is that we we get to make mistakes. We have to make those mistakes. We have to move into that space. So a lot of people talk about fate and destiny, right? And again, those are words that give me the heebie-jeebies. As soon as I say them, I'm like, ooh, should we really go down that road? Because people put a lot into that. And I find, and so, Lord help us, I'm about to trigger someone. I know it. It's in my blood, friends. This is what I do. I find fate and destiny sometimes can be used as an excuse. Oh, this was the fate. What happened? Where did free will choice go? Where did personal responsibility go, babies? I'll take anyone on that conversation.
For me too, I feel like sometimes it's a great way to play the victim. It happened to me. I had no choice. This is just how things are. This is destiny, whatever you want to say. And often it's not used in a way that empowers us. It's because, I couldn't do this or I couldn't do that or my life is like this because that is destiny.
Exactly. And it becomes a definition. They let it define them, and then they become a victim.
And it becomes a crutch, and and we're human. So we all do it at some point. There's no So for me, when I've channeled information, what came through a couple of years ago that I loved was, you're not here to learn a lesson. You didn't come to learn something because we're all whole and complete. And learning means that we didn't know something, and that's kind of a judgment point of view, and that is a very human point of view, because spirit is like, man, you are all complete, whole, complete, you're done. But we want to come to experience things, because the human body and the 3D world is the perfect place to experience things that cannot be experienced in any other realm of the universe. So, we're going to come down and we're going to experience loss and joy and frustration and happiness and togetherness and aloneness and all of these stuff that we experience as a human. And sometimes I feel that we come to experience something that, I didn't get to experience that yet. So here is, my life is set up perfectly for it, but I'm going to choose. And so what happens is, when we don't experience what we're experiencing, that's where those big blocks come, because we came to choose experience.
Now, that's an interesting way to say it, Joe.
Just the other day, actually, it was, I had a client, and what came through was, they kept showing me a mirror. We can't see ourselves without something to reflect. So the universe or creator is exactly the same way. So we are the image or the mirror for the rest of the universe to experience all of the stuff we experience, because we are being the reflection.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. That is a lot. That is a lot. Do you remember I started out this conversation saying, I like simplistic, I like easy. Spirit just tells me what to do and I just do it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, that was powerful, powerful, powerful. And thought-provoking for sure. Like, I have to go back and watch this again and be like, okay, what is, she's
like coming home from, I was walking along yesterday, and that's what came through, was like this. Yeah, I had to go back because I channeled the message. So I didn't remember it clearly until I was walking home later. And I was like, oh yeah, the mirror is the perfect, because I can't see my own face. Like, I can't see me. So creation needs the reflection so it can experience itself. And what better way than to be a human?
Tian, can I ask you something? But Tian, I want to ask you, when we talk about, not having a lesson, we come here, we're already whole and all of that. I am literally going to be like having a channeled message with a guide, because for me, that's not exactly how Spirit has given it to me. And this goes to show how unique we are and how we receive things. And I love that. And that's what gets me all fired up when we're doing the spiritual work. But Tian, I want to ask you, do you feel, and I know you were nodding with a lot of Joanne, I was nodding too because I was trying to keep up, but do you feel that there is a lesson here for you? There is purpose here for you beyond just experiencing things? Do you feel like purpose? here as a human.
Yeah, I absolutely was loving what Joe has to say because that is what I teach as well. And then I make an addition because I do, I'm a spiritual teacher in my queer community. And as I lead a lot of conversations and having people connect to themselves in any of the more marginalized, either people of color and or queer community, I always remind people, right, that yes, we are soul beings and we came to planet Earth. Why? Because we looked down and went, oh, wow, what a cool planet, right? Look at all these things you can eat. Look at all these fun environments. Look at these trees, these birds. And in the human body, it's kind of wacky. These humans, get to enjoy things. They seem to squish their bodies together and have a delightful time. All of that, right? They get older, their bodies change, their leg falls off, and oh, how interesting. Like things like that. So I remind
Your
people,
leg falls off, and well, what? Look at that. I'm pretty sure
well,
the person's leg
yeah.
fell off wasn't feeling that, but
And that is the spiritual level, the reminder, right? As spirit beings, when we lighten up and we step away from the dense earth experience, that's where joy can happen. And when we can know that, oh wow, it's so entertaining and interesting, and we reminded once again why our soul came down to earth to, I'll say to have a good time. Joe will say it. Joe says to have an experience. I'll say to have a good time. And then, as spirit beings, we notice that here on planet Earth, people suffer. So we want to come and actually, like, maybe spread more joy. And that
and
would
not
be,
suffer, right?
yeah, that would be
We don't
one of
want
the,
to suffer.
exactly. And to remind people to connect to our higher selves, to our love, our joy, our curiosity, all of that. And that would be, say, part of the purpose. So for me, it is twofold: to have a great time. And since I'm here and I'm reminding people how to have a good time, that's my purpose as well, to spread the light and joy.
I love that so
Yeah.
much. And you know what? We are all going to go through things, right? I mean, and the word lesson has kind of like left my space right now.
Yeah.
Because when people say to me, "Oh, why do you think they took Ryan?" I'm like, "Shut up. We're not having that conversation."
Yes, good.
Right?
Good.
My spirit self knows. My human self is still figuring it out.
Yep.
Friends, I am loving this conversation, but we are going to bring it to a close. You guys have been insightful. Oh, so beautiful. I love it so much. Any quick final words, Joe? I'll let you go first, then Tien.
I guess the last thing is that how you were saying that there are so many viewpoints. And the one thing that I've had for 15 years as a message is that all roads lead to Oz. Is that there are different viewpoints and there's different information because we're all different and unique as a human, and to find our way back to the core takes different points of view because they will fit for different people. So if
Absolutely. Amen.
you always take what fits, and there will be someone it always fits for. That's why there's so many religions. That's why there's so many modalities in spirituality. That's why all roads lead back to Oz.
I one of the things, well, an important thing for me to share is, particularly in a spiritualist movement that is at this point still quite whitewashed and doesn't allow for a lot more diversity of experiences, and not allow, but doesn't represent as well. My job is to be able to speak so that various people, especially queer folks and people of color, are reminded that the work is just as valid for us. And the whole point, once again, is joy. And absolutely, I will acknowledge various stages of marginalization and oppression and isms against a lot of marginalized folks, because that's what humans do on planet Earth. It's not spirit, it's humans. When we're not connected, we act out of unkindness and systems of hierarchy happen. And so for us who have had various systems of marginalization, and we are a result of all sorts of oppressive states, the lesson is still the same. We'll say the lesson, but the intention is still the same. The intention is to connect deeper, wholer, to our higher selves at any point. And our reality is very different. as you say, everybody has a different experience. And yes, our realities are very different. But it doesn't mean that our source light is the same. Because that is universal consciousness. It is eternal source. It's God's source. It's all of that good stuff, whatever we want to call it in all sorts of languages. So that
It
is
is
my
whatever you want to believe it to be for you, right?
Exactly. Whatever you want, if it brings you joy, do that.
Happy, happy, joy,
There
joy,
you
happy,
go.
happy, joy. Tien, how can people find you, Lovey?
TienTheWizard.com. I'm on socials, Insta, all of that. Tien the Wizard and or Tien Neo Imas.
Joe, how can we find you
And you can
besides in
find
the
me
collective?
in the collective. Yes, I am in Tara Diana's collective, so on her website and in her groups, as well as joannemore.ca.
I love it. I love it so much. Okay, thank you both for coming out and playing with
Thank
me
you. That was
today.
really fun.
That was
Talking all things
awesome.
spiritual. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, friends, thank you for joining us. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything is Spirit Essence by Tara Diana. Literally everything is Spirit Essence by Tara Diana. Go and join our private Facebook group, Empowering Intuitive Souls. TN is in that group, and Joanne is a group expert in there. So come and visit us. Until next time, my babies, stay divine. Bye.